Today's workout is a 10-minute postpartum abs HIIT. We're combining interval training with core work to get your abs and your whole body strong and your heart rate up so you get a great calorie burn. All you need is a mat. Let's get started.
Hey mamas, welcome to our 10-minute postpartum abs HIIT workout. So we're gonna do intervals, but keep the impact low. We're gonna be working on the ground, but doing some movements to get the heart rate up and some to let it drop back down, working all facets of the core. So we're gonna come to a plank position, and you can do this on your knees or on your toes. Keep your knees or your feet wide. Exhale, brace that core. We're gonna push back into the hips for a bear squat. Shift forward back into a plank. Now you can drop the knees here or you can keep them up. Shift back, pushing your butt to your heels. Shift forward, exhaling, bracing that core in the plank. So this is a great mobility exercise for the back body, but it's also great for working the core. And it's very functional because if you think about how often with little kids or baby, you're going to be up and down off the floor in sort of crawling positions. We want the core to work as a unit, and this is great for integrating all those muscles in the back, the legs, the shoulders. And again, you can put the knees down here and shift back, even keeping the knees down here. This is a great alternative. All right, let's rest here. Now we're gonna keep the hands here, bring the knees in just a little bit. We're gonna tuck those toes and crawl forward and back. So exhale, brace that core. Let's crawl a couple forward, couple back. It doesn't matter how many, however much space you have. I'm gonna do 4 and 4. So when you're crawling, you wanna keep the knees low to the ground and you wanna make sure your shoulder stays over your opposite wrist. So you're maintaining that core pressure. You're minimizing movement through the trunk. We wanna move really quietly. Babies, when they crawl, it looks pretty effortless, right? Maybe not at first. This takes a lot more effort, getting those knees off the ground, but we want to stay stable and control throughout. And if you want to, you can do the baby crawl as a modification. Put the knees on the floor and find a little recovery here. Again, such a great functional exercise, a crawling pattern for really strengthening the core. All right, come on down carefully over onto your back. Take your hands by your hips, palms can be up or down. Exhale, brace the core, lift both knees over the hips, stop here, and then gently lower down, tap the toes, and begin again. Keeping that strong core brace, belly button to spine, ribs are closed, lower back is pressing down into the floor. If it helps you, you can also place those hands underneath the small of your low back, and that can help make sure that you're feeling that connection in your core. You're maintaining that contact with the hands pressing down into the fingertips. If you feel that back coming away, that's kind of how you would know that your core is unstable in this position here. You can also do one leg at a time from this position to regress the movement, make it a little easier. We're gonna stay here, and this time we're gonna incorporate arms and legs. So starting with knees over hips and arms to the sky. We've got dead bugs. So you extend the opposite arm and leg. So let's go front leg, back arm. The leg goes out and down toward the floor, and the arm goes over the shoulder. Now, same thing here. We want that lower back pressing down, but since the hands are moving, we're gonna have to focus on using that control here. Now, a couple options here. You can keep the knees bent and just tap the foot. You don't have to go all the way to the floor, but you can lightly tap the heel. It's really not about how low you can go. It's about that core control and using control, not momentum, to go faster. We want to go slow, force those muscles to do the work here. Exhale as you extend away. That's gonna help contract the core and pelvic floor together. That deep exhale as we come out. Okay, now we're gonna go to a plank walk. We're gonna go up and down. So we're gonna start on the forearms, elbows under shoulders, feet hip width apart. Lift the hips to shoulder height. We're gonna walk up and down. Now switch hands. Walk up, hands go right under their shoulders, and then back to the elbows. So I'm starting here on my knees. My knees are wide. That's gonna help me balance. If your knees are together, you're gonna rock a lot through the hips, and we wanna minimize that rocking. Now, if you want to advance the movement, if you're ready, you come up onto those toes. But make sure when you're coming onto the toes, you're staying grounded, hands under shoulders, and your hips are staying lower than the shoulders. If your butt starts to lift up or if you're starting to push back, that's how you know you need to take it down, putting the knees down on the floor again. And these are more challenging exercises here. This is interval training, so we're getting a little bit higher intensity. So that's to be expected to have to regress a little bit. Plank around the world. I'll show you on the knees and then we'll progress to the hands. So knees wide again. We're gonna go front arm reaches to the corner, front leg to the corner, back leg to the corner, back arm. Let's do that again. So we're going all the way around, same arm, same leg, knees wide again. And again, you wanna make sure you're not shifting the weight back here. We're really compensating by lifting the hips. You wanna keep that weight shifted forward. That's gonna load the core. Yes, it's gonna be harder, especially when you move that leg. You're gonna feel a little bit shaky, but that's okay. Shaking is fine. What you don't want though is like lifting or rocking a lot. You wanna minimize that movement through the trunk. And again, having those feet wide will really help you minimize that movement through the trunk. Let's see if we can get one more in. We're going back onto our back, giving those shoulders a break. Next, reverse crunch, leg extension. So you can see the intervals, right? We're going from prone position to a supine position. Now we're gonna start with the feet on the floor, hands by your side. We crunch up, stopping knees over hips. Lift legs up and then lower to 45 degrees or even lower if you feel like it. In, up, exhale on that lower. This is where I really want you to brace the core. Since both legs are going out away from the body and they're straight, it's a longer lever, more pressure for that core. So if you're ready for it, go 45 or even lower if you feel good. But if you're not ready for it, come back through bent legs and then tap down, kind of like we did with that bent leg lift. We're just adding that little extension at the top. Now, if you even want a little challenge, you could lift that tailbone on the leg extension if you want a little added challenge for that back body. And if you really want to add it and then add the 45 degree or lower, that's it. Okay, now we're going to stay on the back. This time we're going straight leg hip circles. So legs to the sky, toes pointed. We're gonna go down, around, and up. So exhale, inhale at the top. So legs are together, straight down, around about 2 feet wide and up. Exhale as you lower the legs. Remember, the lower they go, the harder your core is working and your back. So make sure you feel strong and stable here. Option, keep the knees bent. Almost all these exercises on your back in supine position, bending the knees is usually a good alternative. Keep those quads engaged too. We're gonna feel it in the tops of the legs. People always ask me if that's a bad thing or if they're doing it wrong. No, you're not doing it wrong. You will feel it there. Quads are working, hip flexors are working. My recommendation is you fatigue there faster than you fatigue the core. Just take the regression for a few. Focus on releasing those quads via foam rolling or stretching before and after the workout. Okay, we're going to a side forearm plank. So elbow under shoulder, 90 degrees. We're gonna keep this bottom leg down, top leg straight. Arm is gonna go over the shoulder. We're gonna crunch knee to elbow, and reach back out, crunch. Exhale on that crunch, pull the knee to elbow. And then you're squeezing ribs to hips right here, top rib to hip. That bottom hip is important too. We wanna make sure it's lifted and engaged. Now we're not going fast here, we're going for control. If you wanna level it up, keep this leg in the air here. If you really wanna level it up, you could be on the toes here. These are the most challenging. Dynamic movement in a side plank. But again, make sure you're not collapsing into that bottom shoulder. Stay lifted. Couple more. All right, this is gonna be our last one. We switch to the other side for that side plank crunch. Starting with the leg down, top arm overhead. So when you're going slow, just focus on, again, that connection from the top rib to the top hip. lifting from the underside of the waist, keeping the chest up, shoulder way down from your ear. Great work, exercise to engage your obliques and your deep core and pelvic floor without straining the midline. But it's challenging. That core stability component, really challenging here. But it's the last 10 seconds of the workout, so if you can, take it up onto the toes with me. We're almost there. Last one. Woo. Nice work, guys. I hope you enjoyed that 10-minute interval workout. And let me know what you think. I always love to hear feedback about what types of workouts you guys like and what you would like to see on the channel. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. I do my best to respond to those every day. And I also have a website if you're curious in what I have to offer there, including YouTube guides and how to navigate my channel and personalized workout, fitness, and nutrition plans as well. So that's linked in the description below, as well as everything you see here today that I'm using in my workout. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you back here for our next workout together.